Good afternoon, everyone. We're about to begin our first ever Education Asks Live. Worried ka ba about your future? Stressed ka ba sa sitwasyon ng schools ngayon? Share your mental health questions using the hashtag #EducationAsks. Doc Gia Season and Gretchen Ho will answer them live here in a bit. Hello, magandang hapon sa inyong lahat and welcome to our first ever Edukasyon Asks Live. I'm Migs, ang resident kuya brother ninyo sa EDUKASYON.PH, and I will be your host for today. So a little something about EDUKASYON.PH. We're the largest online youth platform in the Philippines, empowering millions of students aged 13 to 23 to make self-aware education decisions for a more fulfilling career and life. Students use our website to gain access to courses, schools, scholarships, online education, and other resources and opportunities that enable them to find and take the paths best suited to their own interests, skills, and priorities so that we can make the future less scary. So, to do this, we launched Educacion Asks to provide students with a space to air their concerns and questions. At dahil wala sa amin lahat ng sagot, but maybe with our collective voice, we'll be better heard by the people with the answers, from schools to other authorities. Today, we're talking about mental health, so we've invited mental health advocates with us here today. Let's welcome Dr. Gia Sison and Miss Gretchen Ho.
Hello, everyone. Hi, Migs.
Hello, welcome to the show.
Hello. Asan si Gretchen?
Technical difficulties ata.
Okay, so hello, hello, Migs. And thanks for inviting us dito sa EDUKASYON.PH.
Hi!
There we go. Hello.
Thanks, Doc Gia.
Hello, Gretchen.
EDUKASYON.PH family. Kamusta kayong lahat?
So thanks for being here, Gretchen and Doc Gia. So what do you hope our students will pick up today?
Ano lang, i-voice out lang nila yung kanilang concerns kasi malaking bagay na yon na mapag-usapan natin. And yung sa amin lang naman ni Gretchen, mga tips lang. So, hindi siya mga rules to follow. So, yon.
Okay.
How about you,
So,
Gretch?
narinig niyo yun?
Akin naman, gusto ko sana kahit pa paano makatulong kami sa mga bata. And actually, kahit di bata, kahit mga kaedad namin, I mean, it's a tough time mentally, di ba? Emotionally, psychologically, physically, everything is really difficult. So, just to be able to give some relief to people and help them navigate their way through the crisis.
All right. So, para sa ating mga manonood dyan, kung stressed kayo about your future, chill ka muna, take a breather, hang out with us, and send in your questions using the hashtag EducationAsks. Okay, to kick off our program, we're going to start with a little quarantine game called Fast Talk with Kuya Brother.
Wow, patay.
So who wants to start?
Si Gretch muna. Hindi ako prepared.
Fine. Go.
Isang tanong, isang sagot. Bawal mag-explain. Okay, ready?
Go.
Sino una mong imi-meet after the quarantine?
Ay! Sasagutin ko.
Doc Gia! Si Doc Gia magpapatingin ako.
Huling taong ka-Zoom or FaceTime mo?
Ha?
Huling taong ka-Zoom or FaceTime mo, maliban sa atin?
Kaibigan ko, sa Singapore. Sa Singapore siya nakatira.
Favorite quarantine book?
I'm reading, ngayon, The Courage to be Disliked.
Wow. Favorite quarantine series?
The Last Dance ng NBA ni Michael Jordan.
Ito. Makaka-relate marami dito. Huling order mo online?
Oh my God, kasi magbe-build ako ng parang podcast studio dito sa condo ko. So, bumili ako ng mic stand, tsaka cables and everything else. So, yun, ngayon lang yata ako nag-order online kaya medyo excited ako. I mean,
abangan namin yan.
Abangan namin yung podcast mo, Gretch.
Guess ka.
Sure. Yan, bilis ka usap.
What's your lockdown comfort food?
Again?
Lockdown comfort food.
Popcorn.
Kailan ka huling nag-exercise?
Juice.
Masarap ba yun together?
Kailan nga ba? Parang nung isang araw kasi nag-bike ako sa labas. Kasama ng coach ko.
Favorite app sa phone?
Telegram.
Wow.
Ay!
Same.
Ay!
Doc Gia,
Wala lang. Gusto ko lang sabihin niya. Ay.
Ay, ano pa?
Corned beef or sardines?
Corned beef.
Theme song ng quarantine life mo. Ayan.
Hello?
Yes.
Bakit
Can you hear me?
ako ng quarantine life ko? Ano nga ba? Falling out, falling in, nothing sure in this world, no, no. Ayun na lang, rainbow.
Ay, napasample! Oh, okay, yun lang yung questions namin for Gretch. Doc Gia, handa ka na ba?
Sige, game.
Doc!
Ano ba yan? Sige, go.
Okay, Doc. Una mong pupuntahan after the quarantine?
Chili's. Alam na. Ni Gretchen. Bakit?
3 website na una mong binubuksan kapag nagbubukas ka ng laptop.
Okay. IATF, YouTube, at Gmail.
Huling K-drama na pinanood mo?
Ay! Alam mo na. Weightlifting Fairy.
Favorite quarantine movie?
Yung Second Chances. Si Popoy and Basha.
Dalgona coffee or 3-in-1?
Oh, 3-in-1.
Yes, 3-in-1!
3-in-1.
So, kailan ka huling nagpagupit?
Mga 2.5 weeks ago. Self.
Huling order mo online?
Okay. K95. KN95 mask.
Huling taong ka-Zoom or FaceTime mo?
Kahapon lang. Sa meeting yon. Sa work.
New lockdown skill or hobby? Meron ba?
Wow! Marunong ako magluto.
Ngayon. Represent.
Cooking represent.
Last question. Theme song ng quarantine life mo?
Chances Are ng side A. Tagal na yun, pero talagang sobrang love ko yung kantang yun.
All right. Okay, so now that we've loosened up, let us move on to our first set of questions. How's that? Okay. So, first, we're going to talk about how to take care of yourself and your loved ones in this period of isolation and anxiety. Kasi lalo na ngayon, we've all been forced into our home, so it's harder to connect with people. And for some people naman, mas na-expose sila to the people that they don't usually see every day. Now, we have our first question. How do you balance productivity and self-care this quarantine season?
It's important to remind yourself that productivity, I think, is not against self-care. Parang maganda na it should go hand in hand, di ba? Parang, for me, sa akin, yung productivity ko, it helps me take better care of my mental well-being. Ginagawa ko, parang meron ako checklist. Sinusulat ko lahat ng kailangan ko gawin for the day. Tapos, when I get done with one task, parang may sense of accomplishment ako for the day eh. Kasi feeling ko yun yung mahirap ngayon na yung wala kang boundary na sa home life and work life. You have to do everything in the bounds of your home. So, for me to feel na hindi ako lost sa time ko sa bahay, meron akong task, meron akong mga kailangan gawin. Pero, I also remind myself na, uy, Gretchen, okay lang kung hindi mo magawa lahat today. Basta may magawa ka today. Parang yung pressure, kasi alam ko grabe na yung pressure sa labas. So yung pressure ko sa sarili ko, binabawasan ko. Para, kumbaga, parang pinipace ko lang sa sarili ko. Kasi hindi ko na kailangan dagdagan pa. So yun yung for me.
Para sa akin naman, take off ako dun sa sinabi ni Gretchen. I think self-care is needed para maging productive. And you have to realize that hindi tayo lahat will be 100% productive. Also, kasi lahat rin tayo are experiencing some form of stress or anxiety. Iba-iba lang yung impact sa atin. So, that's my take on that. So, self-care muna, then productivity will follow.
So, picking up on what you said about boundaries, paano yung mga... So, we're talking about schedules, right? So, that's setting boundaries with your time. But what about yung option with the people na... Do you think creating like physical boundaries would also help? Like setting up a workspace kahit isang corner lang yan or something?
Iba-iba siya, no, Migs? And basta may corner lang. Sige, not everyone kasi has also a space that is big enough for them to hold. So kahit may corner ka lang na paparay mo yung mind mo na lahat ng trabaho or creative work doon mo gagawin. So sabi nga nila, it takes mga 21 days to form a habit. So yun. Parang corner mo sa sarili mong mundo sa loob ng four walls of your place. So,
Alright, so...
For me, it helps to, mas nag-help sa akin yung routine. Parang, like, pag umaga, ang una kong ginagawa, nagko-coffee ako, tapos nag-journal ako, or nagbabasa. Then after noon, meron akong time, ito na yung work time ko. Tapos after noon, magre-relax ako sa gabi or mag-chat ako with people. Kasi important yun yung conversation. So parang I balance it like time for myself, time for work, time for socials. So for me, mas nag-help yung schedule and the mindset. And meron pa akong time, pag weekday, alam ko, ito weekday. Pag weekend, medyo nag-slow down ako ng konti. So, parang feeling ko putting those boundaries, like,
right,
in the way you work and the way you live, helps you have discipline. And also, parang nabasa ko to parang you're making less decisions within your day kasi meron ka ng sinusundan na routine. Yun.
Okay, so that first question was from our Twitter. Next question from Facebook naman. Naka-quarantine po ako ngayon. Ang mama ko na isa din pong frontliner. Sobrang lungkot po dahil di man lang po namin siya makasama at maalagaan. Hindi ko po alam anong mararamdaman ko dahil kailangan ko din pong maging strong para sa mga kapatid at lola ko. Help po. So, what can people do, lalo na in these times, para sa mga minamahal nila sa buhay?
I think empathize with them is the best. Understand and COVID-19 napakalungkot na sakit yan or even walang sakit. It's really a lonely world. And all the more na dapat patibayin yung connections. So empathy is very underrated, but that's what we need ngayon. Tapos, on the other hand, isipin mo rin that your mom is doing, making the community safe also. That indirectly makes you and your family safe as well. Yung mga ganong you try to think about that. And of course, at the end of the day, hindi man hopeless ang panahon ngayon. Hang on to hope. It may take some time, but this too shall pass. Ika nga.
Para naman sa akin, ako yung kapatid ko kasi frontliner, doctor siya And hindi namin siya nakikita, tapos parang hindi na siya umuwi kasi nag-self-quarantine yun after duty. Tapos after self-quarantine, babalik na siya agad. Parang feeling ko nakakatulong yung magpapadala ka ng messages. Inaaliw mo sila. Parang bibigay ka lang ng konting updates. Uy, ito ginagawa ko ngayon. Uy, ito ganito. Uy, nabasa mo ba to? Para mag-send ka ng mga links, messages, mga updates na nakakatuwa. Tapos para malibang sila, no? Parang hindi lang yun yung mundo nila, hindi lang umiikot doon. And you remind them that, hey, there's another world out there. There are other things that are happening apart from this crisis. And I think, just to be able to have those conversations, medyo nakaka-relieve na sa kanila.
Yeah.
True.
So, that's their relationship with them. Pero para sa mga viewers naman natin, for example, na nawawalan na ng hope, what are things they could do for themselves para hindi sila bumitaw in a sense?
Bumitaw sa life para mag-give up, ganun ba?
Yeah, or mawalan ng pag-asa. Because understandably, mas mahirap ma-reach yung support system mo ngayon, especially if you're used to always being surrounded by your friends and colleagues.
Yeah.
So, what can people do?
Okay, realize number one, no. Personally to, just on my own view, no. Kasi iba-iba tayo ng coping style. I think taking each day one at a time is very helpful. Kasi para ito sa mga overthinkers and of course, I'm not discouraging forward thinking. Pero at this time kasi when things are uncertain, mag-hang on muna tayo each day that we have. That's one. Again, hindi ko ma-underestimate yung support that you connect with others also because ang ina-advocate naman is physical distancing. It's not social distancing. So don't cut your ties with others. As much as possible, talk to someone you trust. It will help, no? Kasi you don't go through this alone. And you have to realize too na lahat ito, we're all affected by it. Walang exception dito. So, that for me is, yun yung advice ko.
Nagigets ko yung sinasabi ni Doc Gia na taking it one day at a time. Being more present in the moment helps. Kasi pagka nasa stuck ka sa brain mo, ang dami nang naiisip na ano na bukas, paano na, kakayanin ko ba? Nasa na papunta yung mundo? Diba? Minsan, parang even, sa totoo lang minsan prayer, tatanong mo din ako minsan, Lord, bakit ba ito nangyayari? Ano ba yung will mo? Minsan, hindi ko talaga maintindihan. You question it's a difficult time to get answers and it's a difficult time for everybody. But when you focus on your day-to-day and you see the little blessings that you have, like, for example, I'm healthy. I have food on the table. I have this space to work. I have this time for myself para pwede kong gawin ito and so forth. Meron akong oras para sa pamilya. Pag na-recognize mo yung small blessings na yun, it diminishes fear little by little. But then sometimes you have to realize that we are all going through the same thing. It's a collective problem. It's not just you. Lahat tayo pinagdadaanan to. So, tingin ko, focusing yung lens mo, looking at the good news. That's why meron akong happy news segment, diba? Looking at the good news, looking at the good that's happening, it helps you balance it out in a way.
Okay.
Tsaka yung woman in action ni Gretch, support nyo yun.
Yes.
Okay. Related question, ito naman from Instagram. How do you assess the person close to you if he or she is having issues on mental health during this pandemic?
Okay. sometimes you can't, no? Kasi, well, most of the time they prefer to keep it to themselves. But one is they isolate themselves. This is just one amongst yung madaming manifestations. So parang napapansin mo na lumalayo imbes na lumalapit. More isolation. Tapos, andyan rin yung factor na parang yung quality of life niya is suffering. So those are some telltale signs. So kaya importante that every day sana you establish, you reach out to your friends or family and ask them how they are, because that's very important. Kasi baka may pinagdadaanan na sila na, hindi mo alam. And most of the time we get those cases na no one knows about it, then biglang nagka-crash. So keep those social connections alive.
Sa akin din, checking up on people, it helps. Marami akong friends kasi, di ba, syempre nag-work pa ngayon, nasa media nasa balita, nasa news. So like every day, we talk to each other. Actually, late na kami nag-uusap parang mga 1 a.m. na. Kasi yun yung mga oras na pagod ka na. Mga oras na ang dami ka na iniisip. Parang, meron akong mga friends that I regularly talk to at night. And nagdadamayan kami na parang, uy, pagod na ako. Pero, tara, kapit lang, guys. Ganon. Yeah, I think, it's constantly checking up with people. That's it.
Okay, so speaking of constants, ito, may isa pa tayong question from Instagram naman. May boyfriend po ako at first time po namin mag-LDR. Paano po ba kami makakasurvive this quarantine?
Oh no!
Hey. Sige.
Doc Zia? Wala akong alam sa relationships
Ganun.
Wala. Advice.
So, LDR talagang test yan sa lahat ng relationships. Mag-jowa o hindi. LDR is the test of relationship. Again, importante yung communication. Okay? Don't forget to communicate. That's number 1 for me, communication, to maintain your relationship. And at the end of the day, kung hindi talaga kayo, hindi kayo. So, yan.
Communication.
Communication is very important, lalo na kayo, and you can't even see each other. So you rely on technology. You rely on text messaging or phone, di ba? Parang,
sabi mo ba na mas mataas yung chances na mahanap yung true love? Kasi dito nasusubukan.
Pwede.
Yung strength ng ties nyo, yung communication.
Pwede. Actually, yung may friends ako na nag-break up because,
Oo?
Yeah, meron. May mga ganong cases na na-realize nila during quarantine that they're not for each other. There's that factor, And there are others who have been strengthened by time. So, it's really iba-iba talaga on how you take your relationship between each other. Ano ba yung mga negotiables ninyo, how both of you communicate, and yun. So, it's really how you are towards each other and how you keep yourself. You're still you despite the distance.
Good luck na lang.
Ano, Brett? Ano masasabi mo doon?
Saka kung kayo talaga, kayo!
Good luck na lang sa inyong lahat na mag-lock tayo.
Kahit busy pa siya, gagawa ng way yan.
So, ang key takeaway natin dito with taking care of yourself and others is the most important thing talaga is communication, no? So, we have to be more open and use the technology that we do have to keep our relationships alive. So, for those of you just joining us, welcome to Edukasyon Asks Live, where we've talked about different ways on how to take care of your mental health in the midst of this pandemic. Ito, next section. As many of us are glued to our smartphones, seeing different news online, alam natin yan, leads to information overload. Some of our students asked questions on how to cope with the feeling of helplessness this pandemic season. Okay, first question from Instagram. Social media triggers my anxiety dahil sa mga news, but at the same time, doon ko lang nakakausap mga friends ko who help me stay sane. So what do I do with that?
Gretch, take it away.
Ano, parang tingin ko kailangan meron kang limit sa kung ano ina-absorb mo na news. Like for example, limit it to every morning. Mabasa ka ng news. Every morning and every night. Don't spend your whole day watching the news because it's so stressful.
True.
And also, it's not your job. It's our job. Joke lang. You have to have limits upon yourself. Na for example, yun nga, parang every morning lang ako mag-check. Tapos the rest of the day, parang bahala na. I will, connect with friends, do work, do other things at home, connect with family, have another life. Wag ka lang mag-social media. And another thing, that would help is to follow people who bring constructive things to your life. Huwag kang magpo-follow ng mga maraming hate tweets, yung mga bitter, yung mga masyadong nega, kasi nakaka-affect yun when you see them on your timeline, tapos puro nega, may inis ka lang. So, kung ano yung mga, you have to identify, I guess, your triggers, yung mga ayaw mo pakinggan, ayaw mo panoorin, tapos tanggalin mo. Just help yourself. Always have the mentality that you're gonna help yourself through this tough time.
Yeah, I remember Gretchen and I, kaya kami nag-meet. We met on social media at nag-form pa yun ng common katoxican sa social media. So I think it's really important to sometimes kasi you can't stay away from those negativity. It's there. Pero you choose also kasi what you want to know. Parang ganon, no? Basta sa akin, select social media platforms that are fit sa inyo. Again, yes, I agree. Know your triggers. And if it's really affecting you, then block, mute, leave. So it's hindi mo naman pananagutan hindi naman nila pananagutan yung life mo as is it. So again, yeah. Don't make social media your life too.
So related to boundaries like that, next question natin from Facebook naman, paano po pag magkakaiba yung political views namin sa bahay? Nagagalit po sila sa mga post ko sa Facebook at palagi lang po kaming nag-aaway ni Mama. Any tips po on how to manage? So social media kasi madaling mag-unfollow, mag-block, or mag-leave ng groups. Pero paano yung mga bahay natin?
My God, problema ko yan. Kasi iba kami ng dad ko, tapos medyo absurd. Parang, alam mo yung hindi naman niya nababasa yung tama or selective listening.
Yes.
Kung ano mag-verify nung beliefs niya, yun lang yung ina-absorb niya. Pero lahat ng iba, hindi. So ako, dahil feeling ko, hindi ko naman mababago yung isip niya, hindi ko na lang siya sinasabayan. Respect na lang. I respect my beliefs. I'll respect yours. And as much as possible, I don't engage. Pag kailangan lang, when I feel like it's facts that need verification or kasi diba, pag fake news, misleading yun eh. So, pag may ganun, doon ko kinokorek. Pero kung hindi na, wag na. Kasi you want to lessen the tensions also in your life at this time. Iwas na lang sa away. Yan.
Totoo yan. And also realize that each person has a right to their opinion as long as it doesn't harm another person. So may ganong factor din yan. And it's also a process. So if you're ready, you might want to explain why you are advocating for this. So may mga ganon. And who knows, di ba? You might get an ally. So iba-iba yung ating pananaw sa iba-ibang mga issues. And that's one thing that you realize, and that's also one thing that you act on.
So it's more a matter of opening the discussion, or rather than attacking right away.
Yes,
So,
yes.
um, our next question though from Twitter, natatakot po kasi ako dahil ang daming fake news na kumakalat. So how do I deal with this po, and paano po ba maiiwasan ang fake news? So I think this question is more about verification of the things that you see.
They should really verify with multiple sources if possible. Mag-follow kayo ng different news organizations, ABS-CBN, GMA, CNN Philippines, even yung international sources. Tapos i-cross-check nyo, tingnan nyo kung pare-pareho binabalita. Ako, hindi ako naniniwala kapag hindi official website. Parang automatic yun sa akin. Yung may filter yung brain ko na hindi ko na siya na-absorb. Pag nakita ko na iba na yung website, ino-off ko na agad, hindi ko na siya pinapakinggan. Because news organizations have their processes before they release a certain piece. Meaning, madadali, kumari, naglabas kami ng news, fake, o kumari, hindi pa namin verified, talagang madadali kami. Yung credibility ng organization, there's so much at stake. So that's why, yung process na yon, mas may tiwala ako dun sa proseso na nagtanong muna sila bago nila nilabas, hinanap muna nila yung panig ng kabila para buo yung storya. So for me, it helps to know that. But I'm also not fast to react because I feel like you see a piece of news, that's also not the full story pa. It's developing. So you have to wait for other details. Sometimes it's taken out of context. Minsan yung headline na nababasa mo, hindi pala yun yung buong kwento. So you have to read the whole thing.
Anything to add, Doc Gia?
Yeah, I agree with that.
That's it. Okay. So it sounds like the best way to deal with the information overload is really to take a step back, no?
Yeah.
And to be able to look at the bigger picture before you start drilling down on these things. Well, these are great insights. Now, sa next part natin, ito, a lot of students are very concerned with this. So with the nationwide school shutdowns and cancellation of graduation rights and other student activities, students are now on extreme FOMO. So FOMO, fear of missing out, and are vulnerable to mental health challenges. And ito yung questions nila. So first question from Instagram, paano po mahahanap ang will and motivation to self-study when you're feeling uncertainties and anxiety?
Well, we're all on the same boat, no? Lahat naman tayo uncertain. But dito rin, again, pumapasok yung live on a day-to-day basis. Pwede naman pwede i-postpone ng mga dreams, pero hindi ibig sabihin na hindi magkakatotoo. So, it's okay to be not okay, but that doesn't mean na hindi matutuloy yung pangarap mo. So, just keep going. So, yeah.
Paano nga ba? Tingin ko it's okay to have bad days. You have to cut yourself some slack that you're not fine, and just try to do better every day. Yesterday was not good for me because I was thinking of a lot of things and maraming stressors. Pero yung checklist na sinasabi ko kanina, it helps me to stick to what I need to do instead of just get lost in all of the worries and all of the news. Parang I have to stand up, come on. Stand up, Gretchen. Let's do the work. Come on. Tigil na. Alam mo yun, yung kailangan, may ganun ka eh. Kailangan meron kang, parang you have to remember that your thoughts are just thoughts. But what you do with your time, that's what matters. What you do with your day, what you do with your, with what you have, that's what matters. That's what manifests Kasi yung thoughts mo nandyan lang, pwede mo i-off. Di ba? So yun, stick to the action. Di ba? Kaya bumalik action ako eh.
Correct.
Pero paano naman with the things that they can't control? So, for example, this next question from Facebook, habang tumatagal po ang pandemic na to, lalo po akong kinakabahan sa mga mangyayari sa pag-aaral ko. I mean, wala pang kasiguraduhan kung kailan magsa-start ang pasok sa college. Incoming freshman po ako at hanggang ngayon, reschedule pa rin yung entrance exam ko. Habang tumatagal, nape-pressure na po ako. Isa sa mga iniisip ko, baka di po ako makapasa sa entrance exam ko. Nag-overthink ako. My question is, makakapagtapos pa ba ako, lalo na sa situation ng mundo natin?
Big yes. Again, it was, yung COVID naman dumating yan na we were all surprised nang dumating yung lockdown, everything. So everyone na apektado lahat. Pero again, paulit-ulit ko to sasabihin because it has worked personally. Again, try to live on a day-to-day basis. It's okay to have plans, pero kailangan maging flexible na rin tayo sa ating situation, sa outcome. So you have to focus on what you can control, focus on the now. Kasi when I tend to overthink, parang ano yan eh, I visualize na andito na yung brain ko, nandito pa ako. So parang, bumalik ka muna. Parang ganon. But just never lose that hope that you will achieve that. It will just take time. At hindi mo fault. Nangyari ang COVID ng biglaan.
Tama. Lahat naman tayo delayed eh.
Yes. Yes, totoo
Tama.
yan. Totoo yan.
Lahat ng plano natin delayed.
Lahat.
So feeling ko, it's also like for you not to get restless. I think you should, also see this time as a space where you can do other things. Kung hindi ka pa nakapag-college ngayon, pwede ka mag-aral ng ibang mga bagay na hindi ka magkakaroon ng oras kapag nasa college ka na. Diba? So parang tingin ko, baliktad lang natin, no? Tingnan natin to as one big summer break. Shift in perspective will help. Ako din, dami kong plano this year na hindi natuloy. Dapat mag-aral ako abroad. Dapat mag-cycle ako abroad. Dapat pupunta ako ng Tokyo Olympics. Wala natuloy, ni isa. Diba? Pero, alam mo yun, nung nalaman ko, adjust ako kaagad. Meron akong things that I want to do. Nilagyan ko doon isa-isa. Tapos, hindi ko pressure yung sarili ko to do it. I just wrote them down just to remind myself na ito yung gusto kong magawa. Natapos ko dalawang mahabang papel. Meron doon, read a book, sing a song, meron akong cook something for myself. Yung mga ganon bagay. Study online, write something. So parang feeling ko yung mga ganon things na parang wag natin isipin that life is linear, that college is just the way to go, because the reality is when after school, ikaw na bahala sa learning mo eh. 'Di ba? Parang ikaw na yung bahala magturo sa sarili mo. So there are so many ways to do that, especially now. Just try to look at what you can do and not at what you can't do.
Yeah. Tsaka madami namang skills din na pwede i-develop ngayon. So sabi nga ni Gretchen, reading, for all you know, parang yun yung nagpe-prepare sa'yo for your future. So just don't stop doing, keep reading, developing skills. For all you know, you might find another passion that was never there before. So yung mga ganun, that can help.
So it's more looking at it like parang diversion lang siya, na diversion sa plan mo in life, but it's important to have that North Star that you're heading towards.
Yes, North Star is a very nice term, yeah.
Okay. What about the people na nahihirapang mag-proceed? So from Facebook just now. Greetings. I am suffering from a certain mental illness which leads me to unproductivity that affects my studies, which I really decided to stop studying. So I deal with these traumas since when I was young, which I really have no chance to resolve. I just want to ask you adults, so tayo, on how I can manage these uncertainties from my oblivion of thoughts.
It's one thing kasi to realize that you are undergoing a challenge in your life. And it's another thing that you also ask help or assistance in what you are undergoing. So two-way yan eh. If ano, kasi sabi niya she has parang a mental health condition, she might want, hindi naman yan, it doesn't always, it's not a sentence naman na wala na yan. Of course not. You can move forward from that. You can actually live with that, thrive with it, as long as you seek the proper support. And we have a lot of channels now that are actually offering free um, psychological support. So I'll give you the link to it. So I hope it would help the one who messaged sa Facebook.
What can you say, Gretch?
Yeah?
What can you say?
Ano ulit yung tanong? Sorry, meron ako.
So our reader, our viewer is suffering from a certain mental illness which leads to unproductivity. So they've been dealing with these traumas since they were young with really no chance to resolve. So they're asking us kung paano natin na manage yung ganong uncertainties.
Uncertainty na alin?
I suppose with the future, it's kind of hard to move forward din naman if your thoughts are all clouding you, thinking about, I mean, personally, I also
You're
have
dealing
those
with
days
something.
na, yeah, I have those days when the feelings are
How to
just
deal with
overwhelming.
uncertainty in general?
Yeah.
Okay. For me, no, nothing in life is really certain. I mean, at any point in time, diba? It's something that we have to live with every day, even if we're in a pandemic or not, diba? Ako, ipapasok ko lang I pray a lot. So that helps me. I pray, sinasabi, lahat ng wishes ko, like, Lord, ako na bahala, hindi ko alam what the future has in store for me, but, I trust you, I'll just do my best today, and ikaw na bahala sa future. Imagine nyo, the uncertainty that we feel in ABS-CBN, diba? Where we have the pandemic, and our jobs are in danger. That's so much more uncertainty, and dealing with everything talaga. But ang sinasabi ko nilang dyan, no, thy will be done. All we can do is our best. Diba?
That's true.
And ano naman lagi niyo lang iisipin na buhay ka pa eh. Ibig sabihin, nalagpasan mo lahat.
So I hope
kaya mo din to.
May magagawa ka pa.
Diba? Yeah, that's it.
All right. That's a great way to wrap it up. So I guess what we can tell our viewers talaga is it's important to maintain their lines of communication, no? Especially with the technology that we have naman. It's easier, or it's not easier, but there's still a way to cultivate the relationship so that they have a support system so they can keep going.
that's true.
That
Support
right?
system is very important.
Okay. Well, that's it for today. So, to our viewers, alam ko nabitin kayo today, kaya watch out for our next Edukasyon Asks Live. Sa susunod naman, we're inviting school representatives to answer any of your school and enrollment questions. Again, if you have any education-related questions or kahit about life in general pa yan as you've seen today, Post it on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram using the hashtag EdukasyonAsks. So thank you, Doc Gia and Gretchen,
Thanks,
for being
Migs. Thanks, Gretch. And thanks to all our viewers this afternoon. And keep going.
Ano,
And stay safe.
Sa akin lang, no, sa mga nanonood ngayon, if you want to ask questions, if you need help, you can message Doc G and I on Twitter. We're very, very active. We'd be glad to help you guys. And promote ko lang yung website ko, womanaction.ph. If you want to write anything and express it to the world, you can put it on my website. Meron din ako ilang articles doon. So I write every week. And it really helps not to write down your thoughts, your feelings, and everything else kasi nakaka-ano siya eh, nakaka-relieve and let's inspire each other through this time. That's it.
That's true. All right, so everyone, check out Doc Gia and Gretchen on their social media accounts. Check out womeninaction.ph, correct?
Yep.
Let us know what other topics you want to talk about. Again, I am your resident Kuya Brother dito sa Edukasyon. My name is Migs, and we hope to see you again next time. Bye!
See ya!
Thank you.
Bye,
Have a
Gretch.
great Friday. Woo!
Bye, Gretch. Bye.
Bye.
This is a story on how we got started. We realized that high school, college, even a first job can seem scary. Students made decisions based on chance or limited information. Who can blame them? Adults are the same. That's why we created EDUKASYON.PH. Not to lecture them, boring, but equip them with tools, connect them to schools, find scholarships anywhere, learn online, match their skills to courses and jobs out there. So their future wouldn't be as scary. Simple, right? But it hadn't been done, so we did it. 5 years later, we're helping 10 million students yearly. 500 schools all over the Philippines and around the world work with 50 brands and foundations. You could say we're pretty popular. Definitely not as cool as these guys.
Oh, yeah.
Edukasyon.ph